Hey everybody, it's Captain Kyle, and I have the brand new Detritus. Yes, the Detritus and a cat from, well, Detritus is from Legacy Evolution. The cat is from, well, a pet store, but they were getting cats from a shelter, so welcome. But this is a versus review, so I'm going to put this new Detritus, well, I thought it sounded better as Detritus, but you know, against the original Detritus, who is an eHobby exclusive. Now, they've done a whole lot of eHobby exclusives now as mainstream characters, though Clampdown was a little hard to find, but you have Deep Cover, and you have Tiger Track, and, you know, just a bunch of ones that were hard to find, and now we've got new versions that are a lot easier to find. I'm going to go through this guy bit by bit, and we're going to compare him to this guy, and you can tell me in the comments which one you think is better. Be right back. Alright, so Detritus, the brand new figure. Now this guy, I didn't really know a lot of his backstory until recently, is apparently a mercenary, an arms dealer, and, well, he wants to take over the Junkions. He wants to dethrone Wreck-Gar as the leader and take over. So, not the nicest guy. The original just had an Autobot symbol. This guy has two symbols. He's got an Autobot symbol on his shoulder, and you can see the Decepticon symbol, though, upside down. That's on his hood in his vehicle mode. But let's check this guy out as far as posability. Now, he is a remold retool of Siege version of Hound. So, he can do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme, and because of the double wheels, he can actually roll back and forth without any additional assistance, though you might want to balance him a little bit so he doesn't flop over. That's pretty cool. He does have ankle rockers, so you can put him in a nice dynamic pose. Legs go forward pretty well. Legs go really far back, go off to the side. He bends at the knee. He doesn't really have a swivel. I mean, you can swivel him a little bit because of the ball joint down his hip, but he doesn't have a separate swivel, so the legs don't go that far. He does twist at the waist, so you can put him into all kinds of nice dynamic poses that way, or you could have him like backwards, which I can't do that. It would hurt. So he's got a gun that is very reminiscent of Hound's gun, and his hands can come off. They slide in pretty well. Just be careful. They can come off, but be very easily reattached. It's got the missile launcher. This missile can actually pop off. It came in 3 separate pieces. Yeah, the arms can go all the way around. They do actually have a swivel, and he bends at the elbow, and it straightens out. The fists themselves also twist. So very good posability there. His head does turn as well. It's a little stiff because it's a brand new toy, but he can turn his head. And there is his back view. You can see he's got the windshield on the back just like the original Hound and original Detritus. He's got the wheels on the back of his legs, so a little bit of kibble there. But overall, he's a pretty cool looking robot. Now with the 2 symbols, I mean, choose a side, man. Okay, he did choose a side. He chose his own side. And, you know, apparently he's known for when he shows up and chooses a side in a battle between the Autobots and the Decepticons, whichever side he chooses is going to win. And that seems like he's a good luck charm. Nope. He's really smart. He just waits to see who's going to win and joins their side. You know, typical selfish bastard. Definitely wants to be on the winning side. But a cool figure overall. Now, he does have the Evo Fusion. So apparently, you can combine his weapon, which oddly, it doesn't have any instructions about doing. And it doesn't really talk about a place for the missile. The missile you just put aside, but he's got a bigger gun. So that's kind of a neat thing. Maybe put the missile on the bottom so he can use it also to, like, beat the crap out of people. So that's the Evo Fusion part. He fuses his weapon into one. Now this guy stands slightly about 5 inches tall. A little taller if you add his missile launcher back on his shoulder. But overall, a cool looking figure. All right, let's take a look at the original Detritus. Now he is an eHobby exclusive that I got years ago. He's got stickers, which, you know, the new one doesn't have. Slightly different shade of color, but we'll look at that in a minute. As far as posability, there's not much. His arms You can go back and forth. You know, go all the way forward if he's not carrying a gun. But they kind of, yeah. And because of his gun, the way it is and the way his arms are, you can't point it forward. If he wants to shoot, he's got to lean back and, you know, be on a lounge chair and shoot. You know, I guess that would work. He's got the missile launcher, which is Japanese and therefore fires. Now, the thing about that, there's no chrome on the weapon or the missile or the trigger or anything like that. I guess they did that either as a cost-cutting move or maybe just to make him a little bit more Junkion in nature. And you can see his tires, they are chromed, but there's a little bit of like rust, like a paint app that makes it look like there's rust in there to make him a little more Junkion-ish. But he's got the nice stickers on the legs. You can see stickers on these side pieces that flip around during his transformation. And he's got the red taillights and the little hole and post for his additional accessories that don't go with him in his robot mode. Because this is basically the original Hound as far as the mold is concerned. His eyes are painted red, as are this one. So let's take a look at them side by side. Yeah, you can see this one's a little lighter shade. This one's got almost a little bit of a pastel type shade to him. He's got the Autobot symbol on his chest full time, so he's pretending to be an Autobot all the time. Whereas this one, again, shoulder and the back. I like the gold coloration on the missile and the gun, which looks a lot more like the cartoon Hound hologram gun. This is just a long rifle that we never really saw in the cartoon, but it's there. Obviously, the new Detritus is much taller. From head to toe, the old one is 3.5 inches, a bit taller, closer to 4 with the missile launcher. So there we go, and if we take a look at the back, they both have the nice windshield. Not a ton of kibble, but, you know, again, wheels here, and he's got very visible wheels as well. All right, let's take a look at the vehicle modes. So we're gonna detach the weapons, and since this is a remold of Hound, very similar transformation. And I've always liked the new Hound with the very clever putting all the wheels on the legs. So that's kind of a neat thing. So there he is in his vehicle mode. Rolling wise, I mean, he rolls okay for a more modern Transformer. Rolling has never been a really wonderful thing for these guys. The windshield, when you push it forward, is supposed to snap into place, and it does, but it's like it's not quite flush. But still, looks very cool. He's again got the Decepticon symbol right there. The weapons, unless he turns them to the side, will blast off his windshield. So that's something to keep in mind. He doesn't have seats. He has this area. It almost looks like it could be 3 seats in a row, but there's no real place for them to sit. It almost looks like a thresher. You put humans in there and splurt them out the back. Speaking of the back, you know, it's kind of an open area. This connects, but there's no real cover here, so you can kind of see up and see the arms underneath. But I do like the gold shiny, somewhat shiny. They're not totally chromed, but the shiny engine in the front. His wheels are silver, center kind of chromish, but there's no like rust. So this guy doesn't look, other than his color, to be very Junkion in form. But a cool overall vehicle. No rear view mirrors, which, you know, the original had. But overall, not bad. So the original Detritus, just like Hound, you would take off his missile launcher and his rifle, put them aside, and they would have no place in the vehicle mode. No weapon storage, nothing like that. Transformation is pretty darn simple. It is G1. I remember when people used to think these were complicated. They ain't seen nothing. Now there he is as a Jeep, but he does have some additional accessories which don't have any place in robot mode. He's got this machine gun, just like the original Hound. He does have the gas can, just like the original Hound. I'm not sure if there wasn't a sticker, if I just decided not to put it on, but there's no sticker on the spare tire that goes right there, which must have some kind of cover. Rolling wise, this guy, I mean, he's G1 style, so yeah, he will roll all over the place. He is really cool. He's got the stickers here. You can see them. You can see on the bottom, you know, the stickers as well, as along with that Autobot symbol there, which obviously is displayed in robot mode as well. I didn't point it out. You could see it. He's got actual seats, which are nice, that people can sit in this Jeep. Machine gun, gas can, spare tire. A very, very handsome Jeep and rolls very well. Now, size-wise, when you compare these two, they're not that dissimilar. Obviously, this one's a bit bulkier, but he's only about a tad over 4 inches long. Whereas the original, if you go from the spare tire, he's about also 4 inches tall. If you ignore that, it's like 3 3/4. So lengthwise, they're the same. This one's a little bit wider, like 2 1/4 inches wide, whereas the original is definitely just 2 inches. They both have the nice clear windshields. He's got the Decepticon symbol instead of the Autobot symbol. Of course, that could have been like sticker stuff because they didn't want to make additional stuff for the original Detritus. He has these unchromed rear view mirrors on the original, and again, very nice rolling. Little list to the right, but the new one has a little bit of a list to the right as well, so I don't know if that was on purpose, but great homage. I do like, again, the chrome-ish stuff on some of the weapons, but they're both very handsome Jeeps. This one's an actual Jeep, this one is a Jeep-like thing. The back, obviously the new one lacks some of the accoutrement of the original Detritus. But they're both very cool vehicles. This one's obviously a bit cheaper to get. He's like still available at retail in a number of stores, I would hope, at $24.99. Whereas this guy, he is, well, you gotta go to eBay. I'm not even sure what he goes for, but I will put a link so you can find him on eBay if you'd like to get this guy. And of course he comes with additional accessories, the gun and the missile launcher and a couple of missiles. I do have at least one additional missile. There might have been 3. I don't know, they're in my accessory case. But a great homage. Again, you can tell the difference in the color, but it's obvious who this is supposed to be, though the identity crisis with the Autobot and the Decepticon symbols kind of makes him, I don't know. Dude, you need help. Go to therapy. But while you're deciding which of these are better and putting that in the comments, you can also think about checking out this video over here, which is a comparison between 3 different versions of Wreck-Gar, third-party, Studio Series, and G1. And of course, I hope you are enjoying these videos as much as I enjoy making them. We will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.